Hello. Um, um, the reason why I'm umming is because actually I'm just gonna record this video for me. Okay, I do know because Spirit's telling me that I am gonna post it, but the whole kind of mental health DID bullshit, I just can't be asked right now because I've got some things that I want to just get off my chest, and I was gonna write it down. I was gonna journal it because I was talking to Spirit. Sorry, just want to change my hand. And because I said, you know what, I shouldn't be wasting these moments. You know, the moments where I'm going through some of my biggest lessons. I shouldn't be wasting these moments. When I say wasting them, I should be recording them because I know that they're going to become teachings and exemplars later on down the path when disinformation starts to become people's reality and people start to get in tune with really understanding that we're moving in the new world now. Do you know what I mean? So I don't want to I feel like it's on my chest and it's on my heart to just, not that I wasn't 100 before, but it's not about the research. Does that make sense? Like I've accumulated enough information and research. You know, this is something I've been tracking for years, most of my life, to be fair. You know, I came to this planet conscious, you know, understanding and being able to tap into certain things from probably a baby, but I know as young as 4 because those are where my own conscious memories, like my most memories, stem off from 4. But I know that there's other things prior to that, but I know that when I'm seeing those things, I'm more seeing them on an observation level, like I'm coming to understand the world around me. Whereas by the time I got to 4, I was interacting in the world around me. So the consciousness around it was very, very different. And then obviously through life, you know, being clairvoyant, hearing people's thoughts, getting downloads, seeing ghosts, seeing entities, seeing past loved ones, family members, people that I never met before, extraterrestrials, beings that look like humans, beings that don't look like humans, etc., etc., etc. I've always been aware of that. That's not new for me. Like the whole Star Trek thing, type of thing, is not new to me. Yeah. What's happened since 2019 was that there was an energy. Yeah, let's just call it an energy because good, bad, the devil, God, it's all irrelevant. You know what I mean? Because it's just me, really. Do you know, I am the creator. I am the most high. I am the all-seeing eye. But I am also experiencing my creation on so many different levels that I'm aware of. So it's irrelevant for me anyway to call it negative or positive. I'm just saying that me as the creator, in order to make this game interesting, I have created a lot of obstacles and boundaries and perspectives and a lot of opportunities for people to use their free will and not free will while they're in this matrix type of thing. But I am the creator of this matrix. That's why I know all the cheat codes. You know what I mean? Or that's why I can access cheat codes because I already know, I've already played it, you've already done it. And many people think that way, but I'm just gonna talk about it from my perspective. So there was 3 interesting things that have happened today. No, not just today. Let me go back a bit. I'm going through a significant transformation at the moment because out of my 5 children, I only have one child living with me at the moment. And she's just found a place and is getting ready to move in. So the last couple of days we've been painting and decorating and everything else. So literally I am going to be a mummy with no babies. Do you know what I mean? For the first time since I got pregnant at 17 years of age, and I'm 45 this year. So I weren't even an adult before I became pregnant. So from a child, I have been a mummy. You know what I'm saying? So this is the first time in my adult life that I'm not gonna have mummy responsibilities. Do you know what I mean? So the earthly mummy, Rosie, my divine feminine, in her earth form, has been extremely triggered, as you can imagine, because, you know, a mummy with nobody to mummy ain't really a mummy anymore. Does that make sense? So it's shifting into a new identity and all the rest of it. But I'm still a mummy. You know what I mean? Because even my children that are not in the house, I'm still a mummy to. So don't get me wrong. It doesn't absolutely void me of all responsibilities and duties. Of course not. But it's the energy. It's the energy and the realization, because it's like the Buddha philosophy about detaching from all earthly things, and that when we rid ourselves of the chains that keep us to earthly wants, needs, desires, temptations, then we can really, really ascend into some really, really higher power and some really higher magic, you know? And that's what I'm learning and discovering, and that's what Spirit has been showing me during these discoveries, that actually, you know, I had to first learn that my children were mine. Then I had to learn that no, actually my children are not mine. Then actually no, my children come through me, not from me. And then actually they belong to the divine. And actually I have no power, no authority over them whatsoever. You know what I mean? And that actually my job is here to facilitate them. You know, they are their own extraterrestrial beings, and they are here to be facilitated on whatever the path the divine creator has chose for them, which is their self anyway. They are the creators of their own reality. Everybody is a god. Everybody is working in isolation collectively. I know it's a bit of a mind fuck, because it almost sounds like a contradiction. How can one thing be working by itself but yet still be working collectively? Well, it's like a fish in a school. You know, that one fish is swimming by itself, because a lot of fishes apparently don't really have long-term memories, but even if they do, the fish is swimming, but collectively they become one body. No different from a cell in your body. You know, that one cell, that one organ is doing its one job, but if it didn't, the collective system could not work. So everybody on the planet is like a cell. That you are one cell in the body. Yeah, and by yourself you have a responsibility, because if you don't do what you're supposed to do as a cell or as a functioning cog, then you're gonna fuck the fucking machine up for everybody else in it. So everybody gets on with what they need to get on with, but collectively we are getting on with something together. So I recognize my individual cell responsibility, but I also understand me as a body that is conscious. So I've gone from a cell level I've gone from the understanding of who I am as a tiny, 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 you can't call it insignificant, but a tiny, tiny cell, aka almost like an atom, you know, to be in this massive, massive multiverse, you know, like some Doctor Strange shit, and still being in contact and being in contact with all of those levels in between that, and knowing how to jump on these timelines, and how to get back to the cell, and how to get back to the macro, the universe, and how, does that make sense? Like sometimes I'm on the bed and I'm in the universe, and I'm chatting, I'm chilling. Do you know what I mean? I'm working the energy, I'm changing timelines, I'm making sure that destiny is as it should be. And then boom, I don't know, in Asda shopping, thinking about what I need to pick up for dinner or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Doing some of the most basic, or sitting on the fucking toilet. You know what I'm saying? Thinking, really? I've just descended from the heavens. just come down how many dimensions? Just come through how many frequencies? Just gone down to the water people and had a conversation with them. Just spoke to a couple of birds outside, and now I'm sitting on the toilet. It's that, you know what I mean? That the ability to travel comfortably between the macro self and the micro self. And it's really beautiful. And that's what I was talking to my son about today, because today was the first time my older son's been back at my house since November. Sorry. I went to Bali last year, November. and it was just going on with bits. I'm on holiday and this boy's going on with bits like, you know what the energy was like? The energy was like he was living in my yard and I was paying him rent. You know, some of that shit there. Yeah. I was just like, you know what? You've overstayed your welcome, you have. I've been well too nice, man. You know, because those kind of energies remind me of when Spirit mentioned to me back in 2021, 22. They dropped little hints to me before that, because obviously, you know, the Avatar movie, the whole beginning of the avatars, you get to understand that actually the avatars welcomed the humans in. They taught them their language. They taught them how to understand the nature of their land. They taught them about the mother tree and all the rest of it. And they went back and took that information, seen what the riches and everything was, and then came back to pillage them. Does that make sense? So obviously the ancestors were downloading little things about that, but by the time I got to 2022, they'd really downloaded this story about that's what happened to my people. That's what happened to my people. Like, I've lived so many lifetimes, so when I say my people, this is just one coming to understand one archetype that I have been, you know what I'm saying, and on a planet that I resided on, that I held very, very, very close to my heart. It was a situation where we had shown hospitality. We had welcomed these entities in and treated them very, very nicely. And then because of our hospitality and kindness, they took that for granted, or took the fucking piss with it, and actually moved in. So it's like you telling a friend that she can come and live with you because she's got nowhere else to go, or maybe she's just come to visit you, and then all of a sudden this bitch don't want to come out your house. You've left to go shopping, to buy food, and this bitch ain't letting you back in your own house. Do you get what I'm trying to say? They're not letting you back in your own house, and you're having to go through the court system and everything else. And even though you're playing it by the rules, this motherfucker's still in your house. And I know what that feels like as a landlord. I've been to court going through a Section 21, and my tenants have been in my house moving out with the fucking furniture, or for months before that, refusing to leave. Like, it's fucking rude. But if you're doing it the right way, it can take an absolutely long time. And it has taken a long time, because even now, that's how it feels inside of me. Like, it's fucking rape. Like, people have generally moved into my fucking space, yeah, and been drinking, eating, and fucking partying with my energy. And part of some of my Kundalini awakening that was happening in 2024, around about the time that I actually went into mental health services, psychosis. It wasn't psychosis as we know psychosis. It was all of these past life information coming back to me. Imagine I'm seeing my family, my actual earthly family. You can't even call them actual family, because they're not even family, to be fair. But these people who I grew up with and was given the label family too, I'm seeing them. I'm on my floor in my bedroom looking up at the ceiling, but the ceiling is opening up and it's stretching out and showing me what's really going on these multiple different universes. These are my eyes I'm looking through, you know. I'm not in a dream state. I'm not on drugs. I'm not hallucinating. I'm not astral projecting. I'm just looking up at the ceiling of my bedroom, and my ceiling is opening and it is showing me what I go on. Yeah, without the drugs. So because all of that shit was happening without the drugs, the earthly me was having to come to terms with what's underneath the veil. Because a lot of people talk about removing the veil, but do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, it's a little bit like the Matrix film, innit, when they remove the veil and take the red pill or the blue pill, whatever pill it was. But obviously there's a matrix pill and a non-matrix pill. When they take the non-matrix pill, they come to realize actually behind the veil, it's not pretty. It's not fucking pretty at all. Inside the matrix is pretty. And to be honest, inside the matrix is it is safety. Yes, it's the illusion of safety. But in this dimension, that illusion of safety can keep you sane. What was happening to me is that I was losing the illusion of safety because I was seeing what it actually is behind the veil. And I couldn't not unsee what was behind the veil. And that is where I still am today. But I've learned to implement, I've learned to absorb, I've learned to manifest, I've learned to take ownership and sovereign of truths that I have always known from a little girl, but now knowing in a different way. And it's because of these realizations why the people around me in this realm, but really they're not really of this realm, they're just being used like your Mr. Smiths. Because really it's in the matrix, it's the guys in the back office, isn't it? It's the guys in the back tech office that are really running the matrix, and Mr. Smith and them aren't. Mr. Smith realized that he was being used, but because of how Neo was moving, that's what made Mr. Smith step up. But prior to that, Mr. Smith was just doing his job in the program. So most of these people, police officers, lawyers, doctors, whatever, they're just doing their job in the program. Freemasons, a lot of them are just doing their job in the program. They don't really have any significant power. That power is outsourced. Yeah. And my power, elements of my power is outsourced too. Elements of my power is outsourced because I tap into ancestors, I tap into spirit, I tap into divine, I tap into extraterrestrials, I tap into other entities around me, I tap into Mother Earth, I tap into the trees, the birds, water, fire. Does that make sense? So we can all tap in and take information and elements away from each other and use those outside of ourselves. However, if one can achieve sovereignty in one's own mind, body and spirit while still in the matrix, that's the interesting point. And I think that's where I am right now. Because when I say if one can achieve, I feel like by achieving that, there is no limits. The only limits are the limits that you place on yourself. Because when I was going through my psychosis episode, I saw outside turn morning and I saw it turn night within the same time frame, like within the 3 minutes, whatever. I was looking out the window and I'm thinking to myself, what the fuck? How can I see night and day? I'm not just talking about what the fuck. I'm talking to ancestors and deities that are walking me through how much of a computerized program this is, and that actually nothing's real, even though it's real. But really, the real you is in a like a induced coma. Does that make sense? There's a me that is in an induced coma, and I am actually sleeping my way through this adventure. You know what I mean? And the very fact that I'm sleeping is even more testimony of how much I can actually control my reality. Because actually this is not my ultimate reality. This is just one version of a reality. Yeah? So I was just today I was chopping it up with my son, who I said has come to my house for the first time. And I was talking to him about well, even before I started to talk to him about Bali, we was having a conversation about karma. And he was saying like he don't really get caught up in the whole karma situation, because at the end of the day, the amount of times that he has done like hallucinogenic based drugs, that little boy was seeing himself as God before he left school. But when the Almighty told me that I was going to give birth, that I was going to get pregnant at 16, the Almighty didn't tell me I was going to get pregnant at 16. At 16, the Almighty told me that I was bringing forth a man-child. Yeah, didn't tell me I was going to have it at 16. Just told me that's what was going to happen. And I assumed I was going to have this baby at 16, so I prepared myself. So you know what I mean, to bring forth this child. But I didn't actually get pregnant until a year later, after trying for a year, because I was so fast. So by the time I got to 17, I was pregnant, and by the time I was 18, I gave birth to my first king. So he has known who he is from a child, and obviously, I haven't necessarily told him anything other than what he already knows. You know, if anything, I've probably told him less because I didn't want to scare him. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want him to be scared of the things that I was scared of, because I was very, very scared of what was happening to me spiritually from a child, because there was just so like people think, oh my god, you know, you get to see angels and entities and whatever. No, it's very, 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 very scary and very, 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 very traumatic, and I have a lot of PTSD. And even now, when the ancestors are working with me, the reason why they will not come to me directly all the time is because they know how I feel about seeing things that are on other levels. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a past childhood trauma. And even though they've been working with me for years, man, I'm talking years and years and years and years and years. Like my family, as in these earthly family here that were really my handlers, they made sure to do a number on me to keep me in fear. Does that make sense? So that the ancestors are always really, really lenient with me, because even now I just heard it. They're like, you know what? You had like 40 plus years of being programmed to be fearful. You're not just going to not be fearful overnight. But I feel like, no, I definitely want to be not fearful overnight, because if I change my perspective on something, I'm very quick to kill an old me. I'm very, very quick to kill an old perspective. Like I'm not, you know, I'm not bound to one perspective. If I can see logic in something, then I'll shift it, obviously. So, but this fear thing, it's something that stuck on. So anyway, my son was here and we was talking about karma. And he was like, yeah, mom, I'm not, you know, I don't, it's neither here or there, because as far as I'm concerned, everybody who comes to Earth and fulfills the mission that they've wanted, that they needed to do. And I've taken enough hallucinogenic drugs and traveled into so many different dimensions of myself that I know that there's no point. And that's why I take my time, because there's no point trying to go for or against, because it's already written out for you. So just let it be. And I was like, yeah, for real, because that is, in one respect, that is what it is. But there's also another perspective, son. And he was like, oh yeah, like what? And I said, well, it's what I was learning the other day in physics. Because in physics, that's the $1,000,000 question, and it in psychology, that's the $1,000,000 question. Is it nurture or nature? In physics, is it divine plan or do we have will? You know what I'm saying? And to be honest, I think it's both. So he was like, well, how do you get both? I said, well, you get both, obviously, because if I'm the divine creator and I have created this reality, correct? And in this reality, I have already determined all the places and the possibilities within this reality. That's why it feels like everything is already planned, so you might as well go with it. But not necessarily, because within this reality, you also have like almost like a funnel system. So you can either go left or right, but if you go left, that funnel system's going to take you this way. It doesn't mean that funnel system can't get you back around to where you would have been on the right system, but the point is that there is a funnel system, meaning that ultimately you can make a decision to go left or right, and based on making that decision to go left or right, you then change the direction of where it could have gone, but not the direction of where the limitations of these are the only place. Yes, it could have gone that way or could have gone that way, but the point is it could have gone that way or it could have gone that way, because I said I commanded that to be the case. I built it that way. I designed it that way, as opposed to having the free will to go off grid, off map, outside of the flow chart and go and create whatever you want to create, type of thing. So I was talking to my son about that, and I was saying that because he was saying, well, he was saying that realistically it's just all the divine plan. It doesn't really matter on the flow charts. He doesn't really perceive those as being free will, because either way you're gonna go on it. And I said, I understand, but dimensionally that is what it is. It's about your exercising of free will, because to me that's the whole one of the reasons why you've come down to earth, isn't it? To learn lessons and also see how it's like having your metal tested. That's what it feels like to me. I'm having my metal tested. Am I worthy enough to live in heaven? Am I worthy enough to be a part of the free world, the new world? Is my intentions good? Because there was a war in heaven, and for a long time there was some motherfuckers going on like they were agreeable beings, and guess what? It turned out that the fucking wasn't. You know what I'm saying? So you know what? Make honor go down to earth. Go and chill with Satan and his brethren. Go and get tempted. Go and carry on with your fuckery. You understand me? And we'll see who makes it back, basically. So there are some of us coming here and not making it back. And there's some of us that are coming here to be prepared for the new world. So yeah, everything is predetermined here on earth in this matrix and even outside of the matrix. But one still has an accountability for which way they flow down the flow chart of this pre-made life. You know what I'm saying? And if you're leaning more and more in terms of like fucking crimes against humanity, you're just looking after self, you're allowing negative and demonic beings to jump up and down. It's like, you're a divine being. That's the whole reason why you're here on this planet. At least the chosen ones are. You know, the God's brought you down here for you to be tested, because the devil's like, you know what, it's not about you. I bet you if you gave me 10 minutes with my man, I'd turn him this way, it'd be gay. And there's no fuckers like that. There's no fuckers like that act like they're not gay, but put them 10 minutes in a fucking gay bar and you'll believe some shit that comes out of them. That's what's going on. We're being put in a gay bar. Do you get what I'm trying to say? We're being put in a gay bar and we're gonna see what's going on. What's really going on. So I says to my son that we're gonna like get to what you do now, because we were talking about no good deed goes unpunished. And that he was saying that it's all about what's in a person's heart, about intention. And I was like, yeah, obviously. But at the same time, because this is the thing, you know, two things can be true at the same time. We don't have to be so stuck on one opinion. We're allowed to have lots of opinions. You want to be strawberry today? You can be strawberry today. You want to be mint tomorrow? You can be mint tomorrow. You want to be orange the next day? You can be orange the next day. You want to be dark chocolate the day after that? You can be dark chocolate after that. A lot of people are like, oh my God, she's orange, what's she orange and now she's strawberry, my God, she's so inauthentic. No, sweetheart. That is where the magic of authenticity comes, when you are all the colours of the rainbow, baby. Yeah, when you are all the colours of the rainbow. So there was me and my son talking about the road of intentions, the road, every good deed gets some punished and blah, 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 blah. And when I says to him that I think it's two ways, yes, when you're on the planet and you're doing your thing, there is karma. So what you do to somebody else will come back on you. But I said there's also dharma. So he was like, well, what the fuck's dharma? And I said, well, dharma is like a collection of all your good deeds, in it. It's what kind of like you're going to be judged on at the end of the day. And he was like, what the fuck's that about? And I was like, well, you know, like biblical terms, like judgment day. Like, yeah, you get to live your life however you think you should live your life, whether that be cruising because you think it's already divinely planned, or whether it be you executing every decision that you make. It's irrelevant. You know what I'm saying? The game of life is not the overall objective. It's who you are as a result of it at the end. Does that make sense? It's who you are as a result at the end. Were you the guy that went into the gay bar and came out straight, or were you the guy that went into the gay bar and came out gay? And there's nothing wrong with coming out either way, because it's your prerogative. You can be gay if you want to be gay, but you can be straight if you want to be straight. That is fine. But when it comes to the end of the line, and every man is now being judged to say, okay, which, you know how the Bible says that the weeds and the wheat are growing together. Yeah, it's fine. Weeds and wheat can grow together. But there's going to be a time when food needs to eat and your weeds can't yam. Weed can't yam. So therefore, there has to be a dividing between the wheat and the weeds. What do you think is going to happen to the weeds? Do you think they're going to go into the house and go into the barn and be kept to storage for the winter? Is that what you think is going to happen to the weeds? The weeds could weed, you know. The weeds were allowed to grow. The weeds were allowed to flourish. Everybody got access to the soil. Everybody got access to the sun. There were no discrimination. You come here to do what your blood clot want to do. But you see, time come harvest. Let me say it again. You see, when time come harvest, weeds are not being taken into storage. Weeds are going to be destroyed. Weeds are going to be destroyed. The only thing being taken into harvest is the wheat, not the weeds. So it doesn't matter how you think you want to live your life, and it doesn't matter if you think you've come here and it is what it is. That's fine. That's fine, because at the end of the day, it is fine. It is fine. It's fine until it's not fine. You know what I'm saying? It's fine until it's not fine. But even when it's not fine, it's fine. Because if the day comes and you have been judged to be a weed, whether that be through the laws of Ma'at, where your heart is weighed against the feather, yeah? Was your heart pure and true? Yeah? Was your heart really pure and true? Do you think that the Almighty does not see the shady little thing? There's people running around up in church, you know, and up in charity like Red Cross, going on like their heart is pure and true, and behind closed door their heart is fucking wicked till their clothes is black. Yeah? Their heart is wicked and dirty till them clothes blood clot black. And they're the ones smiling up in your face, going on like they're nicest of nicest. But that's what I'm trying to say. When time comes, and it's like people ain't clocking when time comes. People are still teething because people feel like we're on this life cycle again and again and again. Oh, this matrix has been running forever and ever and ever. Yeah, it feels that way. Do you know, man? I know. I've come here that many times, man. It feels like this work never gonna fucking done. It really did feel like, say, dance can't done, but dance have to done one day. Music have to start one day. And that's where we are. Music's getting ready to stop, blood. Musical chairs are getting ready to stop. And we're going to see what go on when the music stops playing, where you're at. Because that's what's going on right now. The party is done. Free paper bun. Time to get your shit together. Which side are you on? Are you wheat or are you blood clot weed? Because the weed never sold nothing. The weed ain't got nothing to give. The weed ain't done fucking nothing. The weed sat down on its blood clot backside doing blood clot nothing all day fucking long, thinking that the sun and the fucking soil was going to take care of its blood clot. Yeah? Whereas the wheat got to work, the wheat took the sun, and the wheat took the wheat took the fucking water and started to photosynthesize to make little wheat nugs that could later be broken down and made into blood clot bread to give a goddamn benefit to the Almighty. Come good. The wheat turn something in a something. The weed never turn nothing in a nothing. The weed don't have nothing to give. The wheat has something to give. So what are you? A weed or a blood clot wheat? Because it's the time of the separation. But how exciting, I should say, for those of us that have actually done the work, for those of us that have been photosynthesizing, for those of us that have really been taking in the sun's rays, for those of us that have really been taking on these light codes, for those of us that have really recognized that this is the new time and this is the new earth. How amazing that we get to transform and become something else. How amazing that these motherfucking fuckers and dark energy entities don't get to come around and abuse our energy anymore. These narcissistic blood clot spirits don't get to suck us off. These blood clot Jezebels don't get to act like they're like us. Because the weeds are getting chopped down. They can't come where we're coming. It's an energetic frequency right now. Money, energy is the new currency. Fuck your money. If you can't generate energy, if you can't create, if you ain't got nothing about your blood clot self, you're gonna die. You're a dirty dog. That's what it is. There ain't no space in the new earth for you. Because we're generating beings. We are generators. We are working utilities. That's what we are. We are working utilities. We are the electric stations. We are what the internet runs off. We are what gas the electric runs off. Us, we are supernova. Just pure star energy, frequency. There are no limitations and impossibilities. Everything is possible. So what I was trying to say earlier on when I was talking to my son, I was saying to him, because, you know, when we were talking about the day of, if you like, judgment, and at the end when everything is kind of weighed and the heart is weighed and the scale, etc., I was talking to him about the Hinduism philosophy around that. And he was like, but how did it all happen? How did it all start? So I said, well, in the Hindu philosophy, it talks about like a golden egg coming out of the sea and then breaking up. And he was like, you see, I can't be dealing with all of that bullshit. And I said, I get it. But the way that, and again, I don't have the full comprehension because I haven't started to go deep into the religion. I went to sign up last week to get a whatever their imams are called, to see if I could actually sit down with someone and start teaching. But I'm just doing my own research at the moment. So Braham, or the B man, who's like the top of the top of the top, the divine creator, I 100% believe that I heard that he has a mum and dad, but I don't want to say that, because I also know that there's a bit of a story where this golden egg comes out the sea, and it's about this golden egg splitting. Now, as a woman, that makes sense to me, because we know that every human being starts as an egg that then gets fertilized, and then that one single cell breaks into two, and then breaks into four, and then breaks into eight, and then we start to formulate as a, well, I'd say we start to formulate as an alien, then we go into reptilian before we go into human. So no, in fact it's reptilian, alien, human, sorry. So, and that I'm talking about the first trimester, second trimester, and third trimester of pregnancy. But the point is that when it's talking about the breaking of the egg and dividing into whatever to become something bigger than, as in that's the start of creation basically, and my son kind of shoved it off. I said I get it, I do, because I do understand that an egg doesn't just appear. Like where is the beginning? Because even within myself, because everything is Gnostics, and Gnostics is when you have inner knowledge. Gnostics is knowledge that comes out of ourselves. It's information we know because we know it. It's not because it's come from somebody external to us. It's come from a knowing within us. I know. Yeah. So when I go into myself and I'm asking myself what I know, because I already know, I already have the answer to the question that I'm asking. I have the answer to every question that I'm asking. Remember, because we've been here before, and we wrote this bitch, and we are the creator, and blah, blah, blah. So obviously everything is within. So when I'm asking myself within as to what is the actual beginning, I haven't been able to pinpoint that, because everything looks as if it has a mother and a father. Do you understand me? What am I seeing around me of what something looks like to just create something outside of itself is what I've thought for years, but this is what spirit is just bringing to me now. I am that. I am a creator, constantly creating out of nothing. I constantly create out of myself. Every day. Every day I create something, whether content, conversation, meeting, a thought, energy. Every day I'm creating. I'm creating from just myself. But I also realize that even though I am creating from myself, I'm not actually creating from myself. There's an inner self within myself. I can feel that there is an inner energy. It's almost like Iron Man. Iron Man wears a suit, and this Nova energy source that he has been able to create, to put in his chest, to act as a source of light, to control not just his heart but his whole being. You know, that supernova energy. That's what my man has put inside of his body to generate that kind of creative energy. But we are that energy anyway. We are supernova energy anyway. And even though I know that I am on the outside, I can still feel like this supernova energy being charged up in order for me to be charged. So where is that charge coming from? Where does the spirit come from that incarnates into us the moment we are formed as cells? Because cells don't have a consciousness. Cells don't have a spirit. Yes, cells do, but I'm talking about the cells that we're referring to at the beginning of creation in a woman's body. Yeah. So the egg is in the woman. The sperm cells are coming from the man. The sperm cells are something that is living and active. But the way we see sperm cells happen in a tray, or going on in a tray under a microscope, that's not equivalent to the same level of consciousness that we see a newborn baby come out with, or see ourselves as. to try and comprehend that that tiny little sperm cell is gonna hold this level of comprehension, because this requires a brain, it requires neurons and all other kinds of stuff in order for it to function the way that it is. Because we know if a person is brain dead and those neurons are not firing off, there is no brain activity, a person is not connecting to consciousness, or so they think. There is research too to suggest that we're still connecting to consciousness, even if our brain isn't working, but we won't even go there. And the reason why that is perhaps the case is because our heart is also a brain, or at least a muscle that is conscious. Our womb is an area on our body, a muscle that is conscious. And maybe other organs are conscious too in our body. We just haven't tapped into them in that way. And I get that I'm floating a little bit, but these are the things that I be thinking about. And these are the things that I was talking to my son this morning about. So when we got off there, when we was talking about Braham and these 50 different hierarchy of gods, etc., I was explaining to him that I was initiated, like my ancestors took me to Bali last year, and I got initiated with all these gods. But remember I says that my son had left the house before I got back from Bali, because I specifically says to him, I'd like you to leave my house before I get back, son. It weren't no animosity or nothing. We talk like human beings, but when 2024, like his energy has just been possessed with my father's energy. And I know it's not just about my father, it's the entity within my father, but there's a lot of jumping spirits, and they've been able to jump into my children, which is why I just need to not have my children around me right now. So we've gone full circle. So even though it's a very, 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 very sad time to be a mom without being a mom, it's also one of my most joyous times, because I get to let go of these earthly constraints and just really step into my own Buddhism and Hinduism and Christianity. And when I say these religions, it's not because I adhere to any of them. It's there is a knowing in me that there is a righteousness in some of these philosophies, some of these principles, and some of these teachings. Just like the Bible being the basic information before leaving earth, or a book of codes. In order to reach certain levels, you need the codes, so you have to read the book. So therefore, it doesn't matter if it's about Jesus. It doesn't matter if it's about Ganesh. It doesn't matter if it's about, Rama and Sita. It doesn't matter if it's about Mary. It's irrelevant. What matters is, did you get what you needed to get the keys to unlock the doors that are within you? And that's all it is, really. So I've been unlocking some doors over the past however many years, and I'm getting ready to unlock some major doors now. And it feels a little bit scary, if I'm honest. I can't lie. Not scary in a, kind of way, but scary as in, fuck me. I don't know if I'm actually going to pop out with wings. Like, am I still going to look human at the end of this? Or am I going to just be in my original form on Earth? So when I say it's a little bit scary, it's scary in the sense where I've always been concerned about the looks and behaviors of other entities. But actually, I might just be the person responsible for introducing these entities on Earth, because I might be the first physical person changing back into their original entity form. Do you know what I mean? So it's a little bit like that, And I'm saying, you know what, Most High, if that's what you want to do, I'm down. So when they show me like wings and additional arms and stuff like that popping out my body, because I'm obviously saying what I'm saying for a reason. I'm not concerning myself with something that isn't concerning. Because the last video I did, I says that my energy raised so high. I went like, listen, I seen another arm come out, and my ancestors were like, wing. and I was just like, you see what I mean? Like, and I have all these visions of other people turning into, like, we're the Avengers, man. We can fly. We have things coming out of us like, chick, 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 like metal. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not just physical flesh beings. Like, we've got enough metal and lead and fucking titanium working around our fucking system. At least I have, as far as my ancestors are concerned. And I know You know what I mean? Just from like being iron deficient sometimes and stuff like that. La, she lacks iron. No, Baba, I don't. It's not about lacking iron. It's how my blood works to cope with the energy and everything inside of me. You know what I mean? And maybe if I had a little bit too much iron, I'd be sticking to things, you know what I'm saying? Magnetically and all the rest of it. Who knows? I'm just saying that it's different now and things are changing. And I can see the physical changes happening in me. And I can see the physical changes happening in everybody else around me and the world. And I tell you a physical change that I'm really happy about that my older son noticed this morning when he came in, because he got over about 8 in the morning from work. And he went in the bathroom and he seen all my plants and he was like, bloody hell, Mum, what's going on? And I said, I know. I'm a right little green fingers now, you know, because up until this year, I could not grow a plant, mate. They would all die. Like and I'm like, ancestors, seriously, you're telling me that I'm a herbal fucking medicine woman and all the rest of it, and I can't grow a plant for years, you know. Like I've grown bits and bobs, obviously, because I used to keep like a veg garden and bits and bobs like that. But you know, like big, massive plants. I've always wanted big, flat plants in my house and everything. And I've been buying these. I've been spending money on plants, you know, over the years. I've spent money on plants, money, and they just all died. Even the one downstairs, I think I paid like 30 quid for this little one downstairs, and it's so dry. I put it in the kitchen. The spirit said, and sisters said to me yesterday, bring it upstairs in the bathroom and put it with the rest of them. Do you know what I mean? Because I brought another little one of the same breed. So this is in a little tiny plant pot around about that big. Whereas the one downstairs is in a big, it's like from this side of my face to here, it's in a big plant pot downstairs. But this little one will become that. And my ancestors are like, don't worry about the big, bring the big one upstairs, but just focus on do what you're doing with the little one, because the little one is going to become that and bigger. It's going to become, and my son picked it up today actually, and he was like, what's this, Mum? This bamboo? It does look a little bit like bamboo, but it's not. It's part of a grass family, but it's not quite a bamboo. You know what I mean? But yeah, just now that I've been able to regulate my energy a lot more. I used to sweat so much. Like even doing a conversation like this, I would have been dripping just because of the high frequencies running through me. Whereas now I've got a lot more control and I'm a lot more grounded. And that is evident because I can actually grow a plant now. My energy and frequency was too strong to grow plants, and now I can grow plants. And all it means is that I've mastered it. It's not that it's not strong. It's not that it's too strong. It's just that it's balanced. Like I've learned to harness it, you know, and it's really beautiful. So yeah. So before you're the baddest. Now I want you to know that you are the baddest. I wanted to just touch because she said something that I think is quite key. It's a lot to make the decision to want to go on a healing journey. Okay, it takes a lot to want to go within and heal yourself and break generational curses and learn about yourself. So I want to say congratulations. Also congratulations, because a lot of people don't make it to the next level. They don't. They don't. A lot of people don't make it to the next level. You exceeded. You exceeded God's expectations. Okay, you exceeded your own expectation. But don't stop now. This is just the beginning. I don't care what it looks like. Reality is not what you always see. That was it. It's when she says you exceeded God's expectations and you exceeded your own expectations. Don't stop now. And that made me stop and want to kind of start writing down, journaling, because I understand what she's saying. Because in 2023, imagine I was on my bed going through an ascension. Yeah, I just had this phoenix bird, my phoenix animal avatar, burst out of my chest. Like I'd just been in the bath. I'd done about 2 hours in the bath doing a water ritual with the ancestors. Some mad shit went down that night anyway from in the bathroom, and now I'm in the bedroom and I've got my towel around me, you know, like air drying type of thing, and the ancestors have got me off on the bed. And then as they're talking to me and I'm going through whatever it is I'm going through with regards to the energy and on a cellular level, an energetic level, an emotional level, on a spiritual level, on a mental 4D level, all of this is happening to me, and this big massive fucking phoenix bird just ascends out my chest and lights up the room. Like literally, like it's happening in 3D. It's happening in 3D. So he lights up the room and she's roaring out of her mouth. But as she's roaring, I'm roaring. I can hear her in my head, and I can hear me out my own physical mouth quirking and squirking, because it's like the first time I'm using my voice in this way. And it was happening from in the bathroom, like I said, because in the bath, my eyes changed, and visually I could see far out and I could see close in. And then when I was smelling, I could smell with this nostril, and then I could smell with that nostril, but do it without holding my nostril. Just literally smell through one nostril and smell through the other nostril. And the smell was like, say, imagine, I don't know what a bird smell is. I don't know how many miles away a bird can smell raw meat, like the whole vulture thing. But I just know that I knew and could smell that I had the ability to smell things far more further than what my human nose was able to smell. And I could also see from in my vision of what I was able to see in the bathroom that I was in, but also outside of my mind's eye, and my vision going way, 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 way out, and then way, 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 way back in. So I already knew that certain things was going on different from when I was in the bath having this ritual, and the ancestors were taking me through it. But they wasn't just taking me through me being a parrot, because I was a parrot bird then. They were taking me through being a mermaid too. So I was ascending in and out of the water. I was going in the water physically because I was in the bath. But then I was also mentally traveling down into the depths of the ocean, meeting with water beings and stuff like that. So all that was going on from in the bathroom. So when I've come in the bedroom now and this avatar's just burst out of me and I'm going, ah! Like I'm literally quirking like I'm motherfucking blood clot bird on the bed right now. And all of these sounds and whatever, and visually I can see what's going on with my... Sorry. Oh, my neck is blocking off. Visually I can see what's going on with my phoenix bird avatar, and becoming acquainted with her, yeah, and feeling her fire and feeling her raw, but not really understanding like what go on. Like I know I'm quirking in my room, and one side of me is thinking, fucking hell, if any of the kids come in right now and see me fucking quirking and quacking, does that make sense? So I've always got one foot in the fake reality. You know what I'm saying? I've always got one foot, keeps me grounded. I've always got one foot in the fake reality thinking, fuck me. But realistically, the whole process of going through these ascensions and avatars and animals and whatever, for me anyway, it's about the new world. It's about us having more of a connection and a more in-depth, complex relationship with the animal kingdom. And understanding that we are not different, understanding that we are one with the fishes, with the animals on land, with the birds in the sky. And quite frankly, I can't wait, because I was walking to the chip shop just then. I thought, you know what, I really fancy some salted chips. I have not eaten out of a bag of chips for so long, and I live in England. It's kind of standard to eat out of a bag of chips. Anyway, I came home and I put them in a plate. But walking down the street, my ancestor was like, let's do it, because it's inner child memories of something I used to do as a kid, and it walk down the street with a bag of chips in my hand, full of salt and vinegar. And I wanted to relive that now nostalgic feel. So I said, I'm going to walk to the chip shop, because for some reason my battery went on my car yesterday. My car's not even 2 years old yet, so I don't know how this look. And it's an electric car. Now you'd think an electric car charges a battery, but it doesn't. So anyway, I'm carless from yesterday, and yesterday was the full moon, and then today we go into retrograde. So we already know that what's going on. But you know what the beauty of it is Sunday, I said, I don't want to have to do anything. I don't want to have to do anything. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to do anything. And then boom. You know what I mean? So gratitude is a must when the universe starts to work in that way. So I say is that Almighty, as much as I have exceeded expectations because my ancestors have told me so, when I burst into the avatar of the phoenix, not long after that, after I came back up from the water, going down to these aqua people and learning how to speak bubble language. They taught me a language that you speak underwater and stuff like that. And when I came back up, my ancestors just burst into white flames and just called me Your Majesty. And I watched you know, these people here at the altar, I'm pointing, but you can't even see me, but you see these people that are with me 24/7 and have been for all of my conscious life. For them to turn around in a moment and burst into white light, I'm on about supernova bright light, yeah? Star white light energy. And then see them change, they've changed clothes, you know, because they were dark, because they were still in the earthly rounds. I watched some of these motherfuckers climb out of hell, don't get it twisted. But because they were still in those realms, I don't know what happened. But after that initiation, from being in the bath, the phoenix, and being underwater and being initiated with my like the Atlanteans or the mermaid people or whatever, and then coming back and then seeing my ancestors burst into a white light, their whole outfits changed. You should have seen their gowns that they had on afterwards. But they were all bent down, one knee on the ground and one foot on the ground, and their head lowered. Yeah? Not worshipping, but acknowledging me and calling me Your Majesty. It was, oh, Baba, I can't even begin to explain or even comprehend the madness. One, I was nowhere near the frame of mind of me being anything to do with majesty or royalty. Two, these are my ancestors. I am nothing compared to them. Nothing, absolutely nothing. I hold them at the highest regard. You know what I'm saying? They are, my ancestors are on par with the Almighty Divine Creator. When I talk to the Almighty, they're involved in the conversation. When I talk to them, the Divine's involved in the conversation. You understand where I'm coming from? Like, it's that counsel around me. Like, it is what it is. So I see them as being the ultimate, the be all and end all. I see the Divine as being the big all and end all. So when the Almighty comes to me, or when Spirit comes to me, or when the ancestors come to me, and they are humbled by me, they are humbled by an action that I've taken, they are humbled by an initiation that I've gone through, they are humbled by my ability to just take on big tasks, take on scary tasks and just cut through, then yeah, it is a mind fuck when they acknowledge it. It is, because to me, I'm just cutting through. You know, I jump where they jump. I go where they go. I do what they say to do. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm the lucky one, because as long as I do what they say to do, everything is good in it. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is that I don't have to know what they say to do. As in, they don't have to just tell me the download. They don't have to come to me to tell me, like, I know already. So I'm always in sync. I'm in sync because I know. 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 I am thinking, because you understand where I'm coming from. Like, what part of my cellular body, what part of my astral, ethereal, celestial, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual body do I not know? I know myself. Yeah, I know myself. So I thought that was quite interesting, because I just thought, you know what, yeah, maybe I need to relax a little bit and stop being so whatever. Like, when be like, I'm arguing with the ancestors. No, I love you guys the best. No, we love you more. No, I love you more. No, we love you more. No. Do you guys trying to say? I'm like, why am I arguing with the ancestors? Why am I arguing with the ancestors? The ancestors are telling me that they love me. They love me. The Almighty is telling me that they love me. Why do I gotta be in there? Because I do love them, so it's not like, no, I love you more competition. You could never love me more than I love you. It's not that. It's just pure love, gratitude. Like, the way I feel, because they loved me so much, I love them so much. And because I love them so much, they love me so much. And because they love me so much, it's like the sun. It's hydrogen burning helium, creating hydrogen, creating helium. Does that make sense? One burns and creates the other. And when the other burns, it creates the other. Helium creates hydrogen when it's burnt. When hydrogen's burnt, it creates helium. It's just constant. That's what it is. I love the ancestors love me. No, I love you. No, you love me. No, I love you. It's just constant building, man. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just the constant up and up and up. It's constant, man. And it feels so deliciously divine, and it feels so, it's just it's inside. It's inside. Do you know what I mean? Like you couldn't snatch it away from me even if you wanted to. You know what I mean? It's in my hair, it's in my skin, it's in my eyelashes, it's in my lips, it's on my tongue, it's on my feet, it's on the soles, it's in my nails, it's in my blood, it's in my organs, it's in my sweat. Like you get, even if I became dust tomorrow, you still couldn't have it. Because it'd still be in my dust. It just feels so like. So this is how I be feeling, and this is how I be going on, and this is how, I don't know. I am not of this world, and I'm okay with that. Do you know what I mean? And I've always been okay with that. I just thought that other people couldn't see that, but actually, that's what other people's problem has always been. You know what I mean? That I'm not of this world, and I never have been of this world. And to be honest, why would you want to be? It's so boring. It's so come and see the lights with me. Come and see. I invite you to come and see the lights with me. I invite you to come and see the ancestors. I invite you to step into yourself. I invite you to discover the world within you. I challenge you then to play with and actually bring out the child within. But bear in mind, before you can bring out the child within, you got to do that inner child healing. You got to go back in that bedroom and take the girl out from underneath her father that's raping her. You know what I'm saying? You got to be prepared to go and do all of that first. But you see when you do you see when you actually do? And you get through it and you go through all that, the crying and the boogie nose and the shivering and the shouting and the anger and the depression and the anxiety and the heartache and the... Fuck me, blood. You see when you actually come out the other end? There's nothing more sweeter, man. There's nothing more sweeter than the honeycomb. You know what I mean? The Almighty was right, man. It is so sweet. The heaven within. 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 I'll tell you, man. It's next level. But yeah. I'm just so blessed. I'm just so glad to be, you know what I mean? I'm just so glad to be awake. And at first I was really worried about being chosen for this time, but I'm not. And I don't think I ever been. I'm the right person that the Almighty chose. I'm the one, I'm the two, and I'm the three. A lot of people are like, I'm not the one to fuck with. No, please, 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 come and fuck with me, because if me and your path cross, it's judgment. I've come to hold a mirror, you know what I'm saying, of yourself to yourself. You will see me in you. You will either hate me, love me, like me, whatever. It doesn't matter. But there will always be a lesson in there. You know, there will always be a lesson in there, and I'm looking forward to learning it. I'm at school every blood clot day learning lessons, and you know what? I wouldn't want to be anywhere else, to be fair. You know, Spirit said I'm an infinite education leader, and it's true. I'm infinite because I'm forever the student and I'm forever the master. So there's never a dull day. I'm either learning or teaching or doing both at the same time. So I'm that one. I'm Asherah Rose. This is my YouTube channel, and I'm looking at DID, dissociative identity disorder / psychosis. Yeah, but really we're not. Really we're talking about the new world, but get with it. Also, I sent a message out today because I've been doing counselling now for 8 weeks, therapeutic counselling for 8 weeks. Tomorrow is my 9th session, and then next week will be my last one. So I've asked her if I can record it, and if I can, I'm going to put it up on here so you can see what I go on. And then when it comes to my mental health appointment, I've got my appointment next month So we're just gonna cut through. I'm gonna see if I can video that and put that up too, okay? But I feel like spiritually they're clocking on to me because there's a lot of monitoring spirits around me. So even though I'm in my room, somehow my business is being chatted. You know what I'm saying? So if let's see what happens anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because I can feel that the divine. I can feel there's a plot twist, and that's why you know what? It's more than just the flow. You know, like I be catching on to shit, and the Almighty be changing. My higher self is changing the plan as I'm discovering the plan. Like shit, she worked it out already. It's on them ones. But if you know, you know, and if you don't, then it's cool. All right. Love you to the moon and back. All right. Take care. Have a good one. Get yourself some chips with some salt and vinegar. Okay. Some mustard.